Pennzoil does not have original equipment manufacturer approvals for Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, unlike other engine oils such as Castrol and Mobil 1, which do have OEM approvals. So why does Pennzoil not even try to get OEM approvals for their best engine oil when it is one of the best motor oils on the market? Let's look at the bigger picture. Is this an oil problem or a paperwork problem? This is not a small group of people experiencing this confusion. Owners of vehicles made by BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Porsche, and several other European manufacturers run into this wall constantly. And the frustrating part is that Pennzoil has never been loud about explaining why they do not pursue OEM approvals. Most oil discussions stay in the lane of viscosity grades and change intervals. This conversation goes deeper than that. This is about why a company with one of the most advanced base oil technologies on the planet has chosen to stay outside a certification system that governs a large and growing segment of the premium vehicle market. What exactly are original equipment manufacturer approvals for motor oil, and why do they exist at all? This is where the conversation gets misunderstood more often than anywhere else. An original equipment manufacturer approval for motor oil is not just a marketing badge. It is a formal certification process where the automaker defines a specific performance standard, funds or commissions a battery of tests, and then grants oil manufacturers the right to label their product as approved for that standard. The most well-known examples include BMW Long Life 04, Mercedes-Benz 229.5, Mercedes-Benz 229.51, Volkswagen 50200, Volkswagen 50500, and Porsche A40. Each of these standards has specific requirements around things like high temperature, high shear viscosity, low speed pre-ignition behavior, timing chain wear, valve train protection, and in many cases compatibility with diesel particulate filters. These are not trivial distinctions. They were developed because certain engine architectures have very specific lubrication demands that the American Petroleum Institute base performance categories were not originally designed to address with the same level of granularity. Who does this actually affect in the real world, and what are the stakes? Primarily, it affects owners of European vehicles whose warranty documentation or service manuals specifically call out one of these approval codes. It also affects enthusiasts who understand that engine design and original equipment manufacturer approval can be tightly linked, and who are not willing to gamble on whether a non-approved oil fully covers all the bases. The stakes here are real. If you run a turbocharged European engine on an oil that is not approved for that engine over an extended period, and something fails, a dealer or manufacturer can argue that improper lubrication contributed to the failure. This is a warranty and long-term reliability concern, not just a debate between keyboard warriors on a forum. Now, why is this conversation happening with more intensity right now than it was 5 or 10 years ago? Pennzoil Ultra Platinum has seen a significant surge in attention, driven largely by testing data showing it produces dramatically fewer deposits than competitor oils in standardized industry benchmarks. Engine cleanliness testing, conducted under the International Lubricant Standardization and Approval Committee's GF6A framework, showed Pennzoil Ultra Platinum performing at or near the top of every category evaluated. This got people talking. Automotive channels, used oil analysis communities, and even dealership technicians started recommending it. Then European car owners started asking the natural follow-up question: why can they not use this in their vehicles? And they ran directly into the approval gap. The conversation is happening now because Pennzoil's reputation has never been stronger, and yet it remains outside a certification system that governs a large slice of the premium vehicle market. What is the technology underneath Pennzoil Ultra Platinum that makes people willing to fight this battle in the first place? The answer is the base stock. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum is made from natural gas rather than crude oil using a process developed by Shell called gas-to-liquids technology. The resulting base oil is exceptionally pure. It contains virtually no sulfur, nitrogen, or aromatic compounds that show up naturally in crude oil-derived base stocks, even Group 3 synthetics. This purity translates directly into cleanliness performance. When you run deposit formation tests, this base stock simply leaves less junk behind. It also tends to be more thermally stable, meaning it resists breakdown at high temperatures better than most conventional synthetic base stocks. These are genuine technical advantages, and they are why the deposit testing data is so impressive. The oil is not overhyped in that specific regard. So if the oil genuinely performs at that level, what is the mechanism behind why it still lacks the key European approvals? There are at least 4 plausible explanations, and they are not mutually exclusive. The first is cost and market structure. Pursuing a BMW or Mercedes-Benz approval requires dedicated testing against specific engine platforms used by that manufacturer, ongoing maintenance of the approval relationship, and in some cases, reformulation of the additive package to meet very specific threshold requirements. This costs serious money, and the question of return on investment is not simple. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum is sold primarily in North America, where American Petroleum Institute and International Lubricant Standardization and Approval Committee standards dominate purchasing decisions. The economics of pursuing European original equipment. Manufacturer approvals for a product that is not the primary European offering may simply not pencil out. The second explanation is deliberate market segmentation by the parent company, which is Shell. Shell markets Pennzoil Ultra Platinum aggressively in North America and markets its Helix Ultra product line in Europe. Helix Ultra carries extensive original equipment manufacturer approvals across all the major European automakers. Both product lines live under the same corporate roof and use similar gas-to-liquids base stock technology. Positioning Pennzoil in North America and Helix in Europe, with approvals following accordingly, is a textbook market segmentation strategy. If this is the explanation, and the evidence points toward it strongly, then the absence of approvals on Pennzoil Ultra Platinum says nothing whatsoever about its technical capability. It says everything about where Shell chose to aim the product. The third explanation involves the additive package rather than the base stock. Original equipment manufacturer approval standards are not just about base oil purity. They require specific additive chemistry profiles. For example, the BMW Long Life 04 standard requires oils to fall below strict limits for sulfated ash, phosphorus, and sulfur content. This is to protect catalytic converters and diesel particulate filters over long drain intervals. Whether Pennzoil Ultra Platinum's additive package, as currently formulated for the North American market, happens to meet those thresholds is not publicly confirmed by Pennzoil. It may meet them, it may not. The fact that they have not pursued the approvals means we cannot know from the outside. The fourth explanation is simpler than it sounds. The approval is not there because no one has paid for it. Testing costs money, maintaining the approval relationship costs money, and if Shell is content directing European customers to Helix Ultra, there is no commercial pressure to fix what is not broken from a business perspective. What are the different camps of people who have strong opinions about this, and where does each camp go wrong? The first camp says Pennzoil Ultra Platinum is simply better than anything carrying an original equipment manufacturer stamp, so the stamp does not matter. This camp points to deposit testing and thermal stability data, and they are not wrong about what the data shows. Where they go wrong is conflating base stock quality with complete formulation suitability. A cleaner base stock is an advantage, but it does not automatically mean the additive package meets specific threshold requirements for specific engine families. These are different variables. The second camp says original equipment manufacturer approvals are just a way for manufacturers to lock you into expensive dealer oil programs and should be ignored by any informed driver. There is a partial truth buried in here. The approval process is expensive, and it does create a commercial relationship between oil companies and automakers. But if this were purely a shakedown operation, you would not see every major oil company investing heavily in obtaining these approvals. Castrol, Mobil, Liqui Moly, and Fuchs all pursue them aggressively. The technical requirements are real. The third camp represents the used oil analysis community, which argues that data from your actual engine matters more than any certification stamp. Submit a sample to a laboratory, look at the wear metals, check the oxidation numbers, and let the evidence guide your decisions. This is intellectually honest and methodologically sound. The problem is that it requires consistent discipline over time. It costs money per sample, and it is not a practical framework for most working adults who own a car and need it to simply work. It is excellent advice for enthusiasts. It is not a realistic recommendation for the general population. The fourth camp holds that the entire issue is overblown, because modern engines are so well engineered that they can tolerate a wide range of lubricants, and that fretting over approval codes is the domain of people with too much time on their hands. This camp tends to be right about tolerances in the short term, and dangerously wrong about cumulative long-term effects on particulate filter systems, timing chain wear, and seals that were designed assuming a specific oil chemistry would be present. If you break this down to its simplest root causes, what does the picture actually look like? The first root cause is a commercial decision by Shell to segment its product line geographically. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum was designed and optimized for North American standards. Helix Ultra was designed and positioned for the European market with its original equipment manufacturer requirements. The base stock technology overlaps considerably. The market strategy does not. The second root cause is genuine technical specificity in European approval standards. These standards exist because BMW's turbocharged inline-six engines and Mercedes-Benz's long-drain diesel applications have documented lubrication needs that required their own testing frameworks. The standards are not arbitrary. The third root cause is the absence of public information from Pennzoil about whether their formulation would technically qualify if they pursued testing. This silence has created a vacuum that speculation fills. It would cost Pennzoil nothing to publish whether their formulation meets BMW Long Life 04 threshold requirements. The fact that they have not done so is itself informative. The fourth root cause is consumer misunderstanding of what approval means in practical terms. Many drivers assume that if an oil performs well in benchmarks, it is interchangeable across all applications. This is not how engine-specific formulation requirements work. If you are deciding what to do right now, how should you think about this? If your vehicle is under warranty and your manual calls for a specific original equipment manufacturer approval code, use an oil that carries that code. The warranty protection is real, the engineering rationale is documented, and the risk of a dispute with a manufacturer over an unapproved oil is not worth taking. Shell's own Helix Ultra line, along with Castrol, Mobil, and Liquimoli, all offer excellent products with the approvals you need. If your vehicle is out of warranty and you want to use Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, the practical approach is to run used oil analysis at each drain interval and watch your numbers carefully. Elevated wear metals or oxidation markers over multiple samples would tell you the oil is not protecting your specific engine the way it should. Clean, consistent numbers across several samples give you reasonable confidence that the oil is doing the job, approval stamp or not. If you are buying a vehicle and this matters to you, understand the approval requirement before you commit. A vehicle whose manual calls for a niche approval code narrows your oil options permanently and raises your operating costs slightly. That is worth knowing in advance. Here are 3 things worth holding on to from all of this. The absence of an original equipment manufacturer approval on Pennzoil Ultra Platinum is almost certainly a business and market segmentation decision, not evidence of a technical shortcoming. The approval codes themselves exist for documented engineering reasons and should not be casually dismissed by owners of the vehicles they were designed for. And the most reliable way to know whether any oil is actually protecting your specific engine is to let laboratory analysis of used oil samples answer that question over time. The one thing to watch for going forward is whether Shell ever pursues European original equipment manufacturer approvals for the Pennzoil Ultra Platinum name. If they do, it confirms what the evidence already suggests, that the barrier was always commercial rather than technical. If they never do, the market segmentation strategy is permanent, and both products, Pennzoil and Helix Ultra, will continue to serve their respective markets with the certifications that matter in each one.